Hello, Flat Earth researchers, debaters, and debunkers.
Oh God, flat Earth again? But you already did one this month. Haha, no I didn't. Because that one wasn't me, so it doesn't count. Free pass to do something stupid because fun. My evil scheme has come to fruition.
With this square picture frame on the floor, I'm going to demonstrate how
To frame a nice picture of the globe Earth in all its real and factual glory. Although you should probably put it on a table or something. You'll find it more difficult than necessary to do that on the ground outside, with all the wind and even worse, people who can come and disturb your activity. I suggest some kind of desk or coffee table to do this thing that is definitely going to happen now, isn't it?
us living on a level, stationary Earth.
Okay, of course he doesn't think we live on a globe. I mean, what's the point of anything if he does? But come on, man. Even you lot should be pretty freaking aware that the Earth is not fecking level. Or have you never heard of hills? Or live in, I don't know, Denmark? I hear it's pretty flat there. Bicycles are very popular.
Can be converted to have us perceive and believe that we live on a spherical spinning Earth.
All they have to do is make all of our calculations and evidence and tests show it to be a globe, and all the things that the flat earthers believe are evidence of their claims either not say what they think they're saying or be so patently absurd that a child can debunk them. I mean, it already does all that, so I guess it's pretty easy, eh?
When in fact the reality is that the Earth is a level stationary plane.
Did you know that if you keep repeating something, it'll become true, regardless of all that pesky reality nonsense? What has reality ever done for us anyway? It's never made a million insert currency here just appear in my bank account for no reason, or anything like that. But in my fantasy land, oh man, anything can happen. It could rain fried chicken, hot chips could be plucked from trees, mayonnaise would just be on tap anywhere I wanted. Is anyone else really hungry, or is it just me?
And the things we see in the sky are going off into the distance at a consistent height above the level stationary Earth.
No? Dude, have you never seen one of them there sunsets? I know, they are a very rare phenomena. I mean, as we all know, everyone sleeps all day, right? Like I do. But if you actually stay awake instead of having your after lunch pre-dinner snack 12-hour nap, you can actually see one. And it kind of looks like this. Wait, what's the sun doing? No, it's not supposed to do that. It's supposed to go into the distance and disappear like a dot, right? Why does the sun stay a consistent size if it's moving so far away that it literally disappears according to your model? Which you of course have. Totally a complete and functional one, because otherwise, why would you talk so much goddamn smack?
And it is our perception that has been altered, and we have been deceived into believing or perceiving that things going off into the distance, such as the sun, the moon and the stars, are doing so because we are living on a spinning globe.
Perceptions are irrelevant. Seriously, dude, you literally have a video up that is basically a shot of the sea with you going, "Hey, duh, looks flat." And that's somehow not your perception being flawed, perhaps by the fact that you are on a huge, massive freaking ball. Think of it like this. Ask an ant to describe all of the world. It's going to tell you about the nest and the environment around it for a really tiny distance, because it's all it knows, and they aren't very smart. Similarly, ask an ant-brained human and he's going to tell you the world's flat, because it's all they want to know, and they are dumber than the previously stated ant.
When in fact the measurable, demonstrable reality.
Hey, don't you start talking about reality. That's our word. You just keep talking about your fairy tales that don't produce anything of worth. Well, other than hilarity, which, to be fair, is of great value and most needed in these dark times of me needing to make more content so I can make more money, so I can feed my addiction to food and shelter. Not whiskey, though. That's a very healthy addiction. And I wish people would stop doing all these interventions. They don't work. Mostly because I don't show up. Maybe stop having them during my between naps. Gotta get those in, otherwise I just can't function for the 47 minutes a day I'm awake.
And definitely when it comes to physics as well, is that we are on a level plane.
It's weird that when it comes to physics, all it does is suggest that, no, we are in fact not on anything even resembling a level plane. And if somehow we were, so much about how physics work would make literally zero sense. I would love to see these apparent physics you are using, but then again, I'm not sure I want to touch greasy toilet roll that you use instead of paper, because I'm pretty much 95% sure you are unemployable. So what else are you going to write on?
And we see parallel lines between the surface and the sky, and that's Euclidean geometry.
Euclidean geometry? Whoa there, lad. Those are some awfully big words for an awfully small brain. Did you steal a maths textbook again? Just reading the words out loud doesn't mean you understand them, sweetheart. But let's just say that you do. Okay, show us some. Give me a diagram, or some of the maths that you totally know how to do. Anything? It's odd that you have these two types of flat earth videos. Either nothing is explained, a la this kind, and basically 99% of all the videos, or you get these ones that are covered in a thick, incomprehensible layer of formula, and when you look into it, it rarely means anything, or is nothing to do with what's being talked about. But again, those are much, much rarer. But what does not exist is the here's how it works, the explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old type of video. Because if they could do that, then they'd have to understand it, and then they wouldn't be a flat earther anymore, because there's no such thing as a knowledgeable flat earther who can explain anything. And I'll stake my morning nap on that. Just the first one, though. I'm not crazy.
But it is converted into non-Euclidean geometry, and perspective is converted into an imaginary spherical Earth.
Converted how exactly? You can't just say something is how you want it to be and then make no effort to explain why it is, or at least why you think it is, because then you're just making claims without anything even remotely resembling evidence. And as we all know, a claim made without evidence can be dismissed without evidence, and as much as I love not having to put the legwork in, it means that I do have to think of the funnies instead. And you know what? That's often more difficult, because I don't know if it's clear. I am not very good at writing jokes. You're making things very, very hard for me. Erection joke.
So it's easy enough to physically measure the lengths of these sides.
I don't know where you're going with this, but I'm sure you are prepared for any questions. So I would like to know the most basic information you could provide us with, so everyone is ready for whatever it is you're going to do. So, what are the lengths of these edges?
I haven't measured them, but...
You haven't measured them? I've got something very special to share with you. It's my shocked face. Look at it. It's good, isn't it?
It pretty much looks square to me, and because we are looking at it from directly above, we can see that it is square.
Is it though? You don't do your most basic of due diligence, so I'm not convinced it isn't a bloody trapezoid at this point. It could just be perspective, That's why we make measurements, so we don't rely on our fallible senses and stupid useless brains to make determinations about reality, because that crap can be wrong.
And we have these angles in the corners, which are 90 degrees each.
No, don't do it. This is nowhere near as smart as you think it's going to be, dude. I'm pretty sure I know what you're going to say. 490s equals 360, as you've shown, and that's the same as a circle. And it is, but no. You know what? Maybe he isn't. Maybe he's going to say something smart that I didn't think of, and it's going to absolutely blow my socks off. Well, it would blow my socks off, but I don't wear undergarments. Underpants are for the weak.
So that, of course, gives the square a total number of angles inside it of 360 degrees. exactly the same as a circle.
God damn it, man. Why you gotta be so dumb? Circles having 360 degrees is kind of a simplification. It's a measurement thing, but far more importantly, a circle isn't a sphere. One's two-dimensional, a la the flat earth, and one is three-dimensional, a la the reals. So how can they be compared in the way that you are suggesting? Well, maybe I'm just an idiot, but it doesn't make any sense, man. Wait, why is this bit silent? Did you just screw up, or did you cut out something even more idiotic? I guess we'll never know, although you have obviously edited this because of the overlays. So if it was just cutting something out, why not just remove the lot? You people are so confusing.
And of course we can also cut this square in two, and we can make triangles out of it.
You say in two, but then you do the cutting motion twice, which in this case would cut it into four. I was just ribbing you when I made fun of your lack of math skills, but apparently I'm actually some kind of prophet with the unenviable ability to predict just how dumb people are going to show themselves to be. It turns out that literally everyone is a moron, by the way, especially me.
And each triangle will then have 180 degrees, just as a semicircle has 180 degrees.
You're still not comparing a flat object to a 3D object, dude. At least I'm pretty sure circles and spheres aren't the same thing. But again, I have to stress, maybe I'm just super dumb and don't realise that different things with different names and different properties aren't actually identical.
So keep this in mind as well when it comes to azimuthal map projections.
Oh, you mean this thing? The old flat earther's favourite. Yeah, this isn't a reflection of reality, just a way of showing a sphere flattened out. You'll notice that Australia in reality isn't actually bigger than most of Europe and a big chunk of Russia.
And other ways of describing how the dimensions and the shape of the earth that we live upon, because it is only when you are directly above this frame that we can see that it is in fact square.
Are you like making the main flat earth debunk for me? I mean, I ain't above other people doing all the work. Mrs. Sick is making a video as we speak. Yeah, it's only when you view the earth beyond your paltry senses and take measurements do you see that, in fact, it isn't flat.
In fact, it doesn't matter which angle we look at it from, we instinctively know that it is square.
What? What? What are you even arguing? You make it sound like you're saying the earth is intuitively round and that's why people think it is, but haha, it's not. But then it is in fact intuitively flat because it is, and just... I need to sit down.
But of course, if you try to apply the same angles to the image that is presented to us when we change our point of view or our perspective, then that also changes.
No, it doesn't. Every single thing you can do to accurately measure the shape of the planet we live on shows that it's a globe. Every single test supports the other. Everything leads back inevitably to the same consensus, and only when you ignore that and run purely on your feelings and what your useless, worthless, insensitive goddamn eyeballs tell you, could you ever for a moment believe that the earth is a goddamn pancake.
But again, we are dealing with the transformation of squares and the angles and the ratios into triangles and circles. They are all interchangeable. So what we have here is Euclidean geometry and the physical measurements we can make of this square with its side lengths and its interior angles.
Right. Let's just run with your premise so we can shut down this idiocy and I can go do something else. If we lived in a great big square, we would find the edges that lead to big 90-degree corners. We would measure them and we could add up those angles to 360. However, that would not make us suddenly go, well then, it's a circle. Because in order to be a circle, there wouldn't be any funking 90-degree angles, you goddamn buffoon. Right, now the Earth's a globe. See, it's in your stupid picture frame, you sophistic pillock. I'm off for a double nap. Did you know there are various buttons and doodads on this very page? There's a subscribe button here, a notification bell there, and a like button down that way. Press them now. Don't ask a question, just do it before they stop you. You wouldn't want them to stop you, would you? Not in insert country here. Also, while you're at it, buy some merch, join the Whiskey Club, and support me on Patreon. That'll show 'em.